Good morning, beloved. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever it is that you are watching the broadcast, hello, 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 hello. It is wonderful connecting with you, saying hi, hello, how do you do? What is happening? What is going on with you? Blessings, blessings, and more blessings are speaking to you. For those who will be live, yes, yes, yes. Let's do it. For those who will hashtag and replay it, I love it. For those who will be on and I don't know you on and I might not never know you on, I could appreciate that. And then for those who will be used by Papa at some point down the road to encourage this girl, let's make it do what it do. Okay. So we're talking about this notion of begging versus being, right? Of begging versus being, of begging versus being. And there really is no option here. Like there are no real choices. There are no real choices as to as to how to live. If we're going to live our fullest life, if we're going to maximize our life, there are no real choices, right? Begging versus being, there just really isn't any real choices. And so, with that being the case, um, it becomes a non-negotiable as to how we will do that, right? It becomes a non-negotiable as to how we would because we can be socialized into living a life of begging because we don't see another way, or we could understand the absolute power, right? The absolute um I don't want to say it, power, the absolute power is the only way I can think of it in our being, that's just inherent in our being. Uh, y'all might wonder what I'm doing. So I have this thing about, maybe I could just pull it and leave it for now. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I have this thing about um, balancing. Good morning, Brian. Have a good day. You too, Brian. Love you back. Hey, cousin. All is well. Stay warm. Snow here. Snow here too. Thank you. About balancing, right? I forget what's the word. I can't think of my words this morning. But anyway, um, that things are equal. And so this particular braid is or plait is not. So I was getting ready to rework it, but let me focus because now it's not really the time. So we just pulled it back, get it out the way. So my eye don't keep saying, hey, do something with that. Anyhow, being there's so much power, potential. There's so much into our being, right? There's so many possibilities, endless possibilities when we show up from a place of just being, right? When we show up from a place of being, there's so much within potential and possibility and all the things. And so I just really invite us there. I invite us into this space, to this place of being that that we understand that there are endless possibilities when we show up from that space of being. There are endless possibilities when we show up in potential, in possibility, when we show up in just as our unique self. When we just show up as us, right? There are endless possibilities. And so how often have we walked into a situation and doubted what we bring to the table, doubted who we are, doubted our possibilities, doubted? How often have we done that? Do you see we walked in situations and we weren't able to, right? How often have we been positioned to that? And really what it was is that we didn't think we were able to in many cases. Perhaps we were told that we weren't able to, but it wasn't the truth, right? It wasn't the truth that we weren't able to. It was that we believed the nonsense often, that we believed what others wanted to believe about us. Oftentimes, they didn't even have evidence to believe the things that they did. They wanted to believe these things about us, and so it was. And sometimes they just believed those things about themselves and couldn't see past what was true about them, and they believed that it had to be true about us for whatever the reasons are. But this is what I want to say. This is what I wanted to say to us. Like, live a life of full out being. Live a life of full out being. Don't apologize for your being, beloved. Don't apologize for how you are. Don't apologize for who you are. Don't apologize. Don't apologize for your uniqueness that you bring to the table, right? Just show up as that being. Show up in your truth. Show up in your power. Show up in your uniqueness. Because otherwise, we really do live a life of begging to be seen, begging to be known, begging to be respected, begging to be invited, begging to be a part, begging to be right. Otherwise, we show up in a life of begging, and that's no way to live, right? It's no way to live showing up as a beggar because you already got the life, and you already got the gifts, and you already got the goods. So there's nothing to beg for. There's nothing to beg for because whether or not you feel like you belong is your feeling. Whether or not you feel like you're good enough, it's your feeling. It's your feeling generated from your thoughts. Because even if somebody else has said it, it don't make a difference. It don't make a difference if you decide that your thoughts, if you decide that you're going to think differently than what someone else is saying to you or what some situation is saying to you, if you practice that thought long enough, your thoughts will win out. Your thoughts will win every time. Every time. So we end up begging for space, for place, for value, for significance, for importance, because we have not stopped to really know our being. Because we have not stopped to really know our being. Because when we understand our unique being, begging can never be a part of our existence. Right? When we understand, because then we will spend our time discovering the depths of our being. We will spend our time discovering the different levels, right? The different expressions, the myriad ways in which we are, right? We'll continue to uncover, to dig deep, to unpack. We will. That's what right? That's what being invites us to. That's what being invites us to. And so I invite you to choose being over begging, right? Now, again, I want to reemphasize, I'm not talking about avoiding asking for help, because we do want to ask for help when we need it, right? We want to ask for help. That's important. All of us need help at some point in life. And I think it's sad to live life outside of community. I think it's imperative that we have healthy community, right? But we can create community. If it's not our family of origin, so be it. Sometimes it's not that, right? If it's not the friends who we grew up with, then so be it. Sometimes it's not that. At any rate, whoever it is, there is healthy community for you if you will be healthy yourself, because then you will draw that into yourself, right? There is healthy community for you if you will be healthy yourself, right? And so, so I just really invite you to that, right? I invite you to decide that you're going to live a life of being your fullest, your truest, your highest, your freest version, that you are going to live that life in pursuit and in arrival, and then in pursuit and in arrival. And why do I say it like that? Because when we pursue and we arrive, we unlock a version of ourselves that we hadn't seen before, at different levels we hadn't experienced before. Good morning, Erica. Hey, honey bun. Love you right back. And then when you get to that version, you're positioned to pursue and arrive at the next version. And that's just growth and expansion and increase in life. That's what life is. Ongoing, continued growth and development, right? And so being is such a powerful state of existence, right? Just being in our truth, in the depth of our truth, being in the depth of our truth, such a powerful state of existence, as opposed to begging to be seen, to be known, to be invited, to be a part, to be, just be, just be. And those things just organically happen in your being. I love you, beloved. I do. I appreciate you and I value you. And at the moment that Abba gave us our breath, me and you, we forfeited, we relinquished. You and I gave up the right to not be amazing. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for hanging out with me, Brian, Margie, and Erica. I will see you all in the morning. Bye-bye for now. Have a great day.